witness the most shocking and controversial news stories of our time. Don't be fooled by the mainstream media. See the news from a different perspective. A perspective that will challenge your beliefs, your morals, and your sanity. You are about to enter newsstorm.x.
What's going on, good people? What's going on,
good people? This is your host, Cosmo Indigo, with Johnny O, also known as Johnny the Weatherman.
What's happening, family?
What's going on, good people, tonight? And tonight's going to be a good one. As you can see on your screen, it's showing already. Sleepy Joe strikes again. U.S. airstrikes in Yemen. Houthi rebels in dire straits over there. Let's see how controversial it is tonight. Listen, you can call in live at 980-939-7939. 980-939-7939. Call in live if you want to get on the air with us tonight. We're going to have a good time. Are you ready for the end? The country is falling apart day by day. Day by day. I'm ready. Are you ready? Johnny, we've seen the news tonight. We've seen the news yesterday. We've seen it today, man. What on God's green earth is this world coming to?
Everybody wants to go fight.
Is that what it is? Is we're looking for a fight over in Yemen?
Well, the politicians in the U.S. are fighting. They're mad at Biden. You know, left versus right.
Yeah, it's
back. They're shooting. I mean, the Houthis are shooting the ships over at in the Red Sea. I mean there's a shortage in shipping right now. The truck drivers are sitting at truck stops, and partially because of that. And then you got the Panama Canal. We covered that in the last video.
Yeah.
And
wow.
The drought. So you got the drought in the Panama Canal. That's blocking the ships. And then you got the Houthi rebels blocking the ships in the Red Sea. So, and Biden did warn them that he was gonna do this if they kept going. But this is a war that's been going on since the 90s, and
Yeah.
you can even say it goes back to the 60s.
Ah, boy.
The 80s rule Yemen for centuries, but were marginalized under the Sunni regime that came to power after the 1962 civil war.
And so this is what we're reduced to.
They were looking for a reason to stir the fire when they went in and came across through Gaza. They used. I'm starting to see that I think they used the people in Gaza for a bigger motive here. I mean,
you think it was the underplay for the overplay?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, the money got released to Iran, right?
Right.
Then you had the attack.
Yeah.
And that was Hezbollah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Those guys.
Who attacked in Israel?
Yeah. I thought it was Hamas.
Yes, Hamas. That's right. Hamas went in first, and then Houthi joined up. Then they're like, okay, so they're attacking ships in the Red Sea, just nothing but chaos. It's like little attack dogs. Bigger countries like China and Russia and Iran are sitting back and watching. While even North Korea is like, the little ankle biters, chihuahuas. Just going to see what the neighbor does. Is he going to kick my dog?
Is it keep the dog, man? No, not the dog. Not the dog.
I think strategically they do that too, is to see what kind of, if we release any new technology as far as warfare weapons goes, to see, what's the U.S.'s strategy. We wear them out,
Well, it seems like we're getting attacked on all fronts right now due to the fact that we got the BRICS doing their thing. Between that and the fighting that Sleepy Joe's getting us involved in, it's just getting downright not right, man. Something's got to change. I think that the American people are not pleased with the way things are turning out right now. You know what I mean? And eventually they're going to have to make some changes. There was a survey that we put out on the last podcast that we did about who you guys thinking is going to jump in that race, who's going to jump up front, because the upcoming year, this election, man, could possibly change everything for us as U.S. citizens. This has so much riding on it, and then we go over and start bombing people who are less fortunate, and it doesn't have to be that way. But what do you think about the idea that this is all a distraction? I don't think anyone's really thought about that. You guys can call in 980-939-7939, 980-939-7939. So it looks like on today, the U.S. launched another retaliatory strike against the Houthi militants in Yemen. And say again?
I said, yes, sir.
Yeah, that's bad. It was unclear if today's airstrike was part of the ongoing effort to degrade the Houthis' rebel ability to attack commercial ships in the Red Sea, or a direct response to the launch early in the day of an anti-ship fired at a ship in the Gulf of Aden that fell aimlessly into the water. So what are these people, the Houthis, they're like, what are they, like pirates?
Well, they're Iran-backed Yemen Houthi rebels, and they're stepping up. According to CNN, this is part of their article that I'm reading by Christian Edwards. Yemen's Iran-backed Houthi rebels are stepping up their strikes on ships in the Red Sea, which they say are revenge against Israel for its military campaign in Gaza. So it's a, smack me, I'm smacking you right back.
Ooh, smack me there, I'll smack you back. Oh.
And it's just going to keep escalating from here. Nobody wants that. Those guys over there, they're not going to back down from a fight. They're
Do
all
you
in at this point.
do you think this is could potentially send us into something that we shouldn't be in? Do you think this could be the setup for like I almost want to say, I don't want to say world war, but like something greater than what we experienced in Afghanistan or Iran? Because it just feels like it has those vibes to it, right?
Yeah. Where are you able to show your screen at all, or you
Nope.
Because my computer is kind of lagging.
That's all right.
Go
I can work out something. What storage do you want to pull up?
Well, I was gonna say we can we can kind of paint the picture of some of the aspects of what has been leading up to this point, because you're hinting at World War III.
That's what I'm concerned about.
So you should look up Biden gives China all of our oil reserves, and this wasn't that long ago. So I mean, if all of our oil reserves are gone, we don't have much oil to fight with. Granted, some of our ships are nuclear powered subs and Air Force carriers and stuff like that. But
okay, this is Institute of Energy Research. Let me pull this up for the world to see. Here, there we go. Let's get rid of the. All right. There we go. All right, let's go. Energy, Institute of Energy Research. We're going to read this together, everybody. We're going to make believers out of you tonight. Now, by any means, does what we're talking about reflect necessarily our personal views? We're only presenting factual information to you tonight. Okay. Now, this was written in July of last year, or of 2022. I can't believe we're 2024, Johnny. We're getting old, man. All right. It says it's not enough that China is buying Russian oil at a discount due to Western sanctions put on Russia because of its invasion of the Ukraine. But now President Biden's Department of Energy has sold or is selling China oil from the U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve, also known as the SPR, a source that is meant for national emergencies that Biden has been depleting since last November in hopes to lower gasoline prices that have been escalating. Let me emphasize tonight, ladies and gentlemen, that this was written when? Let's say it all together. This is newsstorm.x. All right, we're back. This is newsstorm.x, newsstorm.x, and we're talking about Sleepy Joe, as some call him in the U.S. political arena. All right, we're reading a story that was written in 2022, in July of 2022, dealing with Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Okay, now just to bring you guys back up to what we were just talking about, for those who are just joining us tonight, it is talking about how in 2022 that Joe Biden has been selling off our Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Okay. Now, the reason for them wanting to sell off the Strategic Petroleum Reserve is to lower gas prices. Now, I don't know if anyone has looked out at their gas stations of late. I've seen gas anywhere from $3.46 to down in the South to $2.79 is the lowest I've seen of late. Johnny, how much was gas when Biden got in office? Do you remember? And my good host Johnny has left the building. Let's look at gas prices in 2020. Thank you guys for joining on tonight. Let's look at gas prices from 2020. All right. Gas in 2020 was $2 and what? 19 cents. Fast forward 4 years, gas has gone up to $3.08 so far. That's the average, people. That is the average. And depending on where you live, if you live on the West Coast, the West Side, your gasoline prices could be as low as high as $4. Let's look at gas prices in 2019. 2019 gas prices. 2019, $2.60. Now, I do remember. Let's look at 2018. Hang on, this is my co-host, Johnny.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Oh. Let's look at 2017. 2017 gas prices, $2.74, $3.29. Let's look at 2016, good people. Gas prices, $2.14. Is there any direct correlation in the time? And some of you guys are going to say that, oh yeah, we know what happened. And this is my co-host calling me again. Hang on. Johnny. That's all right. I think the powers that be don't want us talking about the gas prices of 2016.
Oh, okay. 2016?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's going way back.
I just looked it up. Gas prices are $2.14.
Yeah, that's about COVID crash price.
No, yeah, exactly. Man,
it went down to that during 2020.
Yep. 2020. And now we're in 2024, and gasoline prices are how much, children? Woo! Good God. $3.38, man. Let's say it together, everybody. Let's sing.
$3.38.
$3.38. Good God.
That's what we're dealing with right now in the world.
Yep. So they gave reserves were given away, and then what else happened? All of our equipment got left over there in Afghanistan.
Wow.
I was upset about that, and then. What was it? It wasn't ISIS. Who was it? ISIS, or was it the other guys? That got our stuff. They were posting videos of all the vehicles that they got, all the money, pallets of money were left for them.
Oh, you're talking about the Taliban.
You could probably find photos of the pallets of money that were left, unless that was staged in all AI video footage. Can't trust anything on the internet anymore. I mean, there's crazy AI videos that look pretty real. You got to really look at it and be like, something's off on this, but I just can't quite tell. And then you might see like the lips move a wrong way or something, But,
yeah.
So we pulled out of Afghanistan, gave China our oil reserves.
We're gonna go to Fox News. We're gonna show that right now.
Okay.
I just found a clip of that. We're going to roll the
video on the meats, or
yep. Do it again like you did before.
You see my face at the little thing going around on the Google Meets. It's registering on Meets, so it must be the software when you switched over to commercial or something.
Okay. I'm going to get back on there with you again. So,
you know what? That it might be because you switched to your desktop screen instead of mine.
That's a possibility. All right, I'm going to go back into Meets. In the meantime, here's footage of female Afghan soldiers reunite. Nope, that's not what we want to see. Oh, the lies. Is that the story you're talking about? For the Afghans display pallets of cash received for humanitarian aid in 2022?
Yeah, that's after we left all of our equipment over there.
Wow.
So it's setting a stage of like, okay, we're arming there.
Well, the thing is, there's like unsealed records that Osama bin Laden was working for the U.S., right? And he was doing all the spy work for us, and that's just what it is. And so he, it was a deal gone bad, man. Now, here's a story that Biden administration took one more baby step towards refilling the nation's strategic petroleum reserves, and that was on today. What's the chances of that?
What happened now?
Today, Biden has taken a step towards refilling the nation's strategic petroleum reserves, announcing today a request for proposal for another 3 million barrels of crude oil for May delivery.
Well, that's a good thing, but
it's too late now.
Yeah, why would so he's trying to save face?
It sounds like that. That's what he's doing right now. Yeah.
So they do airstrikes, we go to war, and then he turns the oil thing back on after all our oil reserves are depleted.
Yep.
So it's a quick. I don't know. It's nothing good's going to come out of this. That's for sure.
Never does.
Seen the El Gato thing. You're changing something over there, but yeah, this.
I am back.
I don't know. Just let me know when you can hear from my microphone part on the Meets instead of the phone. I'll hang up.
Keep talking.
Let's go back. Okay, you've got.
Johnny, where'd you go? Oh. Let's get Johnny back on the line, everybody. We're gonna go to commercial.
Check 1 2 1 2.
I can hear you now.
It says want more time. Oh, you can hear me on the computer now?
Yep.
It says talk up to an hour.
There we go. Nope. You're in the air.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Oh, yay! So I got an alert.
We're still live.
Okay. So, is it showing my screen?
Yeah, you got to. We got too many of us. You got us doubled up on here.
Okay. How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So you've got the oil reserves that were given to China. You've got the Afghanistan. We left our equipment over there. I should say Biden left all of our equipment over there because, nobody in America was for doing that except for him for some reason. Then you have they left money for him in Afghanistan. Then you have the Gaza situation, starting off over there. So Hamas started the conflict at the same time, we gave Iran $600 billion that got released and went allegedly straight to Hamas fighters for doing the attack. And then you have the Houthi rebels in Yemen, backed by Iran, and so it's coming full circle with that. Then you've got North Korea is that North and South Korea thing hasn't gone away. That's kicking off pretty good. We still have problems with Taiwan and China, and then you have Russia and Ukraine. And that Ukraine thing started, a year ago? Just a little over a year ago.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the money that we've been giving to Ukraine, there's conspiracies allegedly is being filtered back into campaign funds for certain elected officials. So the war machine just keeps on a ticking, and it's almost as if they're using it as a slot machine or a cash, just like an ATM machine, basically.
And it's pretty sad, man, that all these things are going on. We thank you guys for joining us on tonight at the newsstorm.x, newsstorm.x website coming soon. I just feel like everything they're doing, they're trying to lead us into some major cataclysmic thing, right? To take our mind off stuff like that happened 2 years ago, Johnny. Selling off our oil reserves, man, that's not good, man. No matter how we cut it, it's not good. And we have to figure out what we as a people need to do. People call people like Alex Jones a quack, and he's out there and he's crazy, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, man, that dude was saying some things, man. He was saying some things. Let's see, were you able to get the screen back up? Yep, there you go. I see you.
Yeah.
Now,
with the other stuff to share.
Yep, you're on the air now.
You want me to pull up InfoWars?
Yes, I'll people, hopefully they won't take us down for this mess, but I like my man Alex Jones. Now, look, Alex Jones will make you go repent and go buy some survival gear at the same time, right? Because what he talks about is just straight truth, man, to the masses. And a lot of people sometimes do not want to hear the truth. You can't handle the truth. Things of that sort, man. And what he does is he just gives the bone hard facts. And my dream one day is to get him on the show. Can you imagine all the madness, all the craziness going on this show? We got freaking Alex Jones. Oh my God, you talking about something being so lit and crazy. Now that is something to groove to. Listen, this is newsstorm.x. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. Newsstorm.x. All right. This guy, Johnny, can you play that video for me? This is by way of InfoWars. Gerald Celente talking about the possible banking crisis coming in 2024.
Go ahead, Johnny, play it, please.
Did Johnny leave the building again on me? Johnny, you there? Johnny? Go ahead, push the button. Sorry, guys, for the technical difficulties here. All right, we've lost Johnny. Oh, nope, there he is. Johnny, you there?
It's when you cut to commercial and came back. That's when I went out.
Okay. I see. I figured out what happened now. We got all this new technology, man, and we getting old. All right, Johnny, you go ahead and click the video for Gerald Celente. He's always dropping some knowledge, man. Banking Crisis 2024.
Okay. I'm going to have to play it on my phone, and you guys can kind of see a visual.
One of our top trends for this year is banks go bust.
Yeah.
This is an article from
You can hear it?
Yep.
Tuesday's Wall Street Journal. Nearly a fifth of office space sits vacant, highest on record. Wow, blow me away. Never would have known that. 20% of the buildings are vacant.
Yep.
50% occupancy rate. People aren't going back to work. Let's say I had 10 stories. Yes, come back 3 days a week. I don't need all this space. Now I'm the guy that owns the building. I got revolving leases. Oh, the interest rates are way up. I got less tenants. I'm going to default on my loan. You're going to see defaults on loans on office buildings. We're going to have a banking crisis that made the one that began last March with the Silicon Valley Bank that went bust look like nothing. The money for the commercial buildings is mostly funded by small and medium-sized banks, which also means the bigs are going to get bigger when this thing goes down. But it ain't going to go down like that. This is going to be the biggest banking crisis in the history of the world, part one and part two. You look what happened with Russia when the Ukraine war happened. Biden put sanctions on Russia. He said Putin will pay for this. No, the people paid for it with inflation skyrocketing, especially in Europe. Look at Russia's economy now. They're doing great. They're becoming self-sustaining. They have the human and natural resources to make that happen. Remember when all those stupid businesses left Russia one after another? Oh, the Russians opened them up. Oh, McDonald's left, they opened up a McRussian or whatever. Self-sustaining economy goes back to the United States. We have all the human and natural resources we need to be self-sustaining. But these slimy little scumbags called politicians did away with all of first they did away with the antitrust laws, and then they did away with all of these import taxes. So now you got, again, that murderous SOB, Bill Clinton, every time he got caught with his pants down, bombs away over Baghdad, he brings China into the World Trade Organization. You look at China's GDP before they got into the World Trade Organization, which they officially got in 2 weeks after 9/11, so nobody knew it. Their GDP from 1970 was like this. 2001, whoop, way up. Because the manufacturers said, screw you, Americans. We're getting our manufacturing done over there. We got slave labor. Oh, I forgot. It was the same Bill Clinton, a little boy of nothing. A little boy of nothing. And that little Al Gore. How about Al Gore?
Oh,
who gave
boy.
us
One hot-headed Italian.
I remember when
I see it, man.
factories all over where I am and up in northern New York. Gone.
Whew.
While other networks lie to you about.
Yeah. Gerald Celente, man, doesn't really hold back any punches when he's talking. And he's so passionate about what he wants to tell us about because he's so knowledgeable, man. You know, when you got a dude that's walking around with that much information in his brain, that passion can take you over. You know what I mean? And when he's talking about the things that our previous regimes set us up for, right? And now we're dealing with what we're dealing with now. Now, 2024 is coming up. Look, we got all these. I think the Yemen bombings are only going to be the beginning. I believe there are going to be more bombings, just like they bombed today. That's going to distract us from the things that are going on behind the scenes. Heck, even the there's this feud that's going on between these comedians. And one of the comedians is one of my favorite comedians. Don't get me wrong. Cosmo thinks that my man Cat Williams is the absolute man, and the things that he stood on over the weekend, over these last few days on his truth, has given me much more respect for him. And it's going to take for us as Americans to just like stop being led by mainstream media. Stop being led by what my mama taught me and my daddy taught me. Because a lot of our generational families were just led to one thing, to believe this is what we're going to believe because we're this and we're that. And this is what
we've been lied to our whole lives.
And that's not, and what people need to understand, that's not a black thing. That's not a white thing. That's just a thing, man, that we've all been dumped into these categories as people, right? Categorized. Well, because you're this, you need to believe this. And because you're that, you need to believe that. And that takes away what the freedom fighters did so many years ago for the reason and a right for us to speak our mind. This is newsstorm.x. Call in live 980-939-7939 980-939-7939. We'll be right back. We're back. There we go. All right, I hit that wrong button. I hate when that happens.
Can you hear me okay?
Pardon me?
You still got my mic? Okay.
Yeah, we got you. I brought you back in this time. The fader was fading you out and everything else out last time. So we got that stuff fixed, man. You know, this new technology is just, you know, it is what it is. You know, we got to do what we got to do to get through it. You know what I mean?
You know, yep. With everything going on, they say what this reminds me of. History always repeats itself.
Absolutely.
When you had World War I and World War II, what was going on around the same time? You had a financial crisis.
Yep.
Globally.
Yep.
You had famines globally.
Yep.
And out of World War II, that's, you know, well, was it World War I or World War II when we had the signed up with the petrodollar with the Saudi Arabia because of our Navy ships and all that? Was that World War I?
That may have been World War II. You said our Navy ships?
Well, yeah. Either way, it's right now we're in another crisis.
Absolutely.
Coming into a financial crisis, and it's like, look over here, look over there, look, all these crazy, and you're seeing people ratting each other out coming out of the woodworks because our dollar is devaluing.
Yep.
Yeah. So all these people that are bought and paid for, kind of like Rome, you know, the military couldn't get paid anymore, right? Because their currency collapsed.
Well, at the end of the day, man, it feels like that's what it's going to be headed to. And you know, it's funny that you mentioned that, Johnny, because I've heard so many times before that those times are going to repeat themselves, right? And that, even not to get all churchy with y'all, but in the Bible mentions that the brother's going to sell out brother, sister's going to sell out sister. In other words, they're going to rat one another out for the sake of our own well-being. And could that be what all the zombie shows and zombie movies are all about? That we're going to be a world that's just going to be like not caring about anything but ourselves and our own well-being. Johnny, how long have we been knowing each other now? How many years?
Since 2008.
That's a long time, Jack. I think you're probably the longest running. You might be the second longest run I have of friends.
Going on 16 years.
16 years, man. I remember when the kids were born, but now they're all little ladies.
Wow. Yeah.
My son was running around in a onesie, you know what I mean? Sliding on the floor. And time goes by so fast, we get distracted with so many different things to the point that we don't see what's going on around us. Now,
you were the first person that red pilled me, and the first thing you did when you red pilled me was point at a bumper sticker with the name InfoWars.
InfoWars.
Yeah, I remember where we were at, what we were doing, and exactly where I was looking, and I'm like, what in the world are you talking about?
Oh, yeah. Those were the days, my good man.
You said something along the lines, the world is not what it seems. You were talking in a Morpheus tone.
Oh, yeah. Good old Morpheus, man. You can't go wrong with him. The thing is, we just like to have a good time, man. That's all. And I like for people to be awake. I like people awake around me. Johnny, can you scroll down on that?
Yeah. It's interesting too, because with the border crisis, and then the same day that the Texas orders state police to secure the border, Biden launches unconstitutional war in Yemen. Also, apparently there's a unconstitutional some kind of ban on militias or something like that.
Wow.
Which the term militia, I think, is demonized. Which I look at militia in a different light than a lot of people, because when people hear militia, they think bad, but I don't know.
Yeah. It's bad. You know what I mean? You got Dr. Jones pulled up.
Yeah, where did you want me to, down here?
No, at the top. This is the Texas National Guard story.
Where you want me to go? Right here?
Yeah, play that.
Okay.
Play that clip for us.
The Rio Grande River has served as a landing point for illegals crossing into the U.S. in more than 2 years. This means not even the feds can patrol there. Matt Finn live in Eagle Pass to tell us how it's going. I guess is this day one or day two, Matt? Good morning.
Essentially day two. This all started developing yesterday, Bill, and it's a rather remarkable situation. Behind me right now is Shelby Park, the park that you were referring to. Our viewers may recognize it. Our cameras have been here for about 2 years now, showing you the mass illegal immigration that happens right here in this park. You might recall even just a few weeks ago, there was that huge surge of migrants who crossed right here. Well, now under Governor Abbott's emergency declaration, the Texas National Guard has seized control of this park and some surrounding land along the river, put up fencing and razor wire, and kicked out federal Border Patrol agents, arguing that it's the Biden administration that has perpetuated illegal crossings, so Texas is going to control this land from here on out. Our crews have seen what appears to be Texas National Guard blocking Border Patrol agents from key areas of the operation here. And senior Border Patrol agents confirmed to Fox News that BP has pulled resources to avoid a confrontation. Now, it's not quite clear if this unprecedented move by Texas is really going to help or harm illegal migration here, because it appears that ultimately when migrants arrive to this park, Texas National Guard is still going to have to turn them over for processing to Border Patrol, essentially adding an extra step. Another added layer, the mayor of Eagle Pass says he was completely caught off guard by this move. He does not agree with his park being taken over and is looking into his legal options.
This is not something that the city wanted, requested, asked for. He made it clear that this is the state and that they have the legal authority to do that. Of course, our legal team is looking into the actions taken by the states.
We will be here outside of the park over the next couple of days. We'll keep you updated on how the situation unfolds.
Yeah.
There we have it, boys and girls. It's getting... Oh, man, we're going to our last segment here. It's getting crazy. I got a feeling Dr. Jones got something to say something about that. This is newsstorm.x. Continue to hang in there with us. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. Thank you guys for hanging in there with us. As we get ready to close out our show for the night, I thank you guys, number one, for tuning in. For those who get a chance to watch, look, we don't have a very large audience, also, obviously, but we are getting there, and we can't do it without your support because we want to make sure we bring news to you that's truthful, that people understand what's going on, right? That's important. So listen, tune in with us. Make sure you do me a favor. You click that like button, you hit that subscribe button, you hit that comment button, and make sure you share these videos with someone. You can catch us also on podcast. We should be on Apple and Google here real soon. And we thank you guys for tuning in. We couldn't be anything without you all for the night. We're going to look at one more story here. Hey, listen, I would also advise that many people that are out there, I can't tell you how to live your life or health stuff you can take, but there's something floating around this bad boy, man, that's getting people sick. All right. You got our last story for the night, Dr. Johnny?
I'm just looking for updates on the Yemen strikes. It's definitely heating up over there.
Let's that right there. Talking about this is another story talking about the Yemen strikes with the UK and the US engaging, talking about why they're doing it, right? So US was not the only. Go ahead. Looks like the US aren't the only ones.
Here, they sent some allies.
Yeah, they sent some allies out there. Yeah, so U.S. aren't the only ones getting attacked, right? Who is that? You got the UK. If you scroll down there for me, who's Germany, Denmark, New Zealand, South Korea, Italy, Spain, France, and they're backed by who exactly? Iran.
Well, Italy, Spain, and France chose not to sign or participate, fearing a wider escalation.
Well, as we just talked about, we both believe that's going to happen, right? This is something that's getting ready to, as the words of the late
so
Saddam
Joe
Hussein
Biden labels Houthis as terrorists.
Really? Yeah. Let's see if we can bring that on the screen for you guys. There it is. So, looks like we found our new Afghan war. Right?
The Houthis says U.S. is the devil.
Of course they
Houthi rebels as Yemeni locals protest.
Yeah, of course we're the devil. Look at what we're doing to people, man. All in the name of what? Freedom. We're doing this to protect y'all. We don't want folks from other countries to come over and bomb us. Mm-hmm. Which they're already pissed off because that's why they want to bomb us, because of all the crazy crap we've already done to them. So what do? We continue to piss them off even more. What we're going to do? We're going to go pick the fight with the Houthis. And we're going to justify it. We're going to put it all in the news. Now we're starting to ask for more oil, putting in more oil purchases for our reserve systems. There's something else going on. I would advise everybody out there in the world to be vigilant in your freedom and how much it costs, and that you take not your freedom for granted. Love your family. Love your loved ones. Love your friends. If you got a wife, love your wife. If you got a husband, love your husband. Because you never know. People are so pissed off with our country that they're just willing to do anything to take us out. They don't like what we have. They don't like our luxuries. They don't like the fact that we got running water. They don't like the fact that we got heat, that we got lights, that we got nice cars, good food, beautiful people, sunshine. Well, snow depends on where you're at right now.
What if our guys are wanting it to happen too, to force us into a war? What if they want our minds distracted from everything else that's going on, like the scandals and the financial collapse and possible asteroid that's going to hit the Earth this year? I mean, aliens in Miami.
We got to talk about that next story. Now, since you brought up aliens, because you know aliens are fascinating to me, of course. There's this lady I know from Peru at a local restaurant here where I'm at. Fantastic food. Didn't realize the Asian influence on Peru, or the Japanese influence. But the food there's fantastic. And you remember those aliens they had in Peru that were just like coming out of caves and snatching people up and supposedly doing something to their faces? Do you remember that?
The ones that were floating?
Yeah, those dudes.
Flying through them. They're still fighting them down there.
Listen, if you guys, please, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, hit the little bell for reminders when we go live, and add us on your podcast. But listen, drop us some comments on what you guys want us to talk about next, man. This is all about you guys and you getting truth and getting down to the bottom line of things. But yes, they said those aliens looked like the character from Spider-Man, Hobgoblin. I was like, come on, man. And so the news reporters were saying that no, they're just like mad miners, man, that they're trying to drive the people away because the villages don't want us mining there. And come to find out, they weren't miners at all. And they can't figure out what the heck is going on, man. But people are coming up missing. So back to the story with the lady at the restaurant owner. She's from Peru, and she says, I asked her about this. I says, what's going on with all the aliens over in Peru? She says, oh, that's nothing. That happens all the time. We see the spaceships flying and coming up and landing all the time. Johnny, are you hearing me, brother?
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy, man. I was like, oh. Well, until you guys start giving us ideas, next week we're talking about aliens. God dang it. I love me some aliens, man. Aliens are great.
Are they beating down in Antarctica?
Huh?
Are the politicians going to Antarctica at the ice wall for that?
I don't know, man. Hey, have you seen Aquaman 2 yet?
No.
All right. I gave you an app that allows you to watch it right there on your phone. You can beam it to your TV. Listen, in Aquaman 2, let me let you guys know, this is a spoiler alert.
Alert.
All right. So Aquaman 2, basically it's based on the premise of they're fighting this big evil that's been frozen for centuries, eons. And the dude that's trying to get revenge against him starts throwing out these things that are locked underneath there. And the first thing I thought about, two things, I was like, isn't that like the theory on the X-Files? Haha, newsstorm.x. But X-Files, they were in Antarctica, they were like had these aliens that were like crashed there, and they were trying to thaw out the place to recover the ship. I think that was in the X-Files movie. Well, in the new Aquaman movie, that's what's going on, right? They're trying to get this ancient power, right? My man is that dude that hates Aquaman. He's trying to get this ancient power so he can bring down the kingdom where Aquaman dwells over, right? Rules over, rather. And then I was like, man, I always wondered, like, Johnny, like, what's underneath all that ice? Why is it all starting to melt now? But you guys know what? That's a whole nother goddamn podcast. We will see y'all next week. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share, and drop us a comment so we can
know what's on your mind. We want to know what your thoughts. Help us out so we may know what to do and how to do it when you want us to do it and what you want us to do when we're doing it. We'll see you guys.
Be safe out there.
Be safe out there, everybody. We'll see you next week.